Internal Revenue Service IRS tax news. Highlights from National Small Business Week 2021 COVID Tax Tip 2021-138 September 20th, 2021. The IRS continues to provide materials and information to help small business owners and self-employed individuals comply with filing and paying requirements. Here's a recap of key topics covered in IRS messages during National Small Business Week. There's a link to National Small Business Week here. Small businesses can share the word with employees about the child tax credit. There's a link to that here. The IRS encourages employers to help get the word out about the advance payments of the child tax credit during Small Business Week. Employers have direct access to many who may receive this credit. IRS.gov has tools employers can use. There's links to those tools here to deliver this information, including e-posters, drop-in articles for newsletters, and social media posts to share. IRS sources to help small business employers understand and meet their tax responsibilities. There's a link to that here. They're going to help you share how you can pay them their share of the money since they're silent partners. The IRS acknowledges that small business employers have unique tax responsibilities. The agency has a variety of information and resources to help employers understand and meet these unique tax responsibilities. Most of these resources are available anytime at IRS.gov. Employers should choose their payroll service provider carefully. There's a link to that here. To meet payroll and employment tax responsibilities, many businesses hire a payroll and payroll tax company. There's a link to that here. This is going to be, of course, an important topic if you're hiring. If you have employees, of course, then you got to be dealing with the payroll. And when you're dealing with the payroll, it can get quite complex. Even if you only have a few people involved, it's something that you would rather get right once, as they say, measure twice, cut once on that kind of thing, as opposed to some other kind of job where it's good to kind of tinker with. You tinker with something and make little changes until you fix it and perfect it. And other things, it's like, well, now you cut the door frame too small, and that's not. You should have measured it twice before, right? That's kind of like what payroll is. You want to get it done right the first way, or else it causes more problems in the future. And oftentimes that requires hiring a third party for small businesses, and or at least getting some help through software providers like a QuickBooks or a Xero or something like that, so that you can get that set up. Now, if you're hiring a third party, you want to make sure that you're getting a good third party involved, because they're involved in a very, a part of the business that's going to be dealing with sensitive information. And we know that if you're going to get sued as a small business owner, it'll typically be from your employees more often than anybody else. So you want to make sure that you're getting things done as well as possible. On that, you have someone that you could trust for the payroll provider with that sensitive information and to get the tax returns done properly. So it is something to really think about and try to get it right, again, the first time if possible. So most of these businesses provide quality service. However, sometimes a payroll service provider doesn't submit their clients' payroll taxes and closes abruptly. So again, if a payroll provider closes up on you, then it can be kind of a problem, because then you have to switch payroll basically in the middle of the year, and they might not pay the payroll taxes. And if they don't pay the payroll taxes, then the IRS is actually doubly upset at you, because now they think that you stole the money, in essence, from the employees, because they made you withhold the money in the first place, and then you didn't pay it to the IRS. So now you not only didn't pay your taxes, you kind of stole, in essence, you could think of it that way, from the employee, because they made you withhold their taxes for them, and then you didn't pay it to the IRS, and it becomes a problem. So you want to make sure, if you're not getting one of the larger kind of payroll companies and you're getting a smaller payroll company or something like that, or a payroll service provider, that they are an established one that's going to be, that you could stick with it with, hopefully grow with, and so on and so forth. So the client remains legally responsible for paying the taxes due, even if they sent funds for deposits or payments to the payroll service provider. The IRS urges employers to choose carefully when selecting a payroll provider. The agency also encourages employers to enroll in the electronic federal tax payment system. There's a link to that here. It's free, and when deposits are made under the EIN, it lets them monitor their payroll service provider in making their tax deposits. Small business owners should see if they qualify for the home office deduction. There's a link to that here. Many Americans have been working from home due to the pandemic and home office deduction. This tip will help taxpayers understand the home office deduction and whether they can claim it. So typically, if you're a small business owner, if you're a sole proprietorship or something like that, and you carved out a little niche in your home where you're working in it, that might be something that could be deductible. That's one of the benefits of being a sole proprietorship, typically not deductible if you are an employee. If you're an employee working from home, you should probably go to your employer and say, hey, I'm providing like my heat, my own this and that, and you should give me more money or something like that, right? So renewed work opportunity tax credit can help employers hire workers. Recent legislation extended the work opportunity tax credit through the end of 2025. With many businesses facing a tight job market, the IRS reminds employers to check out this valuable tax credit available to them for hiring long-term unemployment recipients and other groups facing significant barriers to employment. So there's a link to that credit here as well, and there'll be a link to this in the description.